Hi, I'm Corey Reeser, and I'm doing my first fieldwork reflection on the Articles of Confederation lesson that I taught. Before I get started off, I first want to identify that I am teaching at Chaffee High School, which has a total population of 3,794 students. It's located in Ontario, California. The demographics are 86.5% Hispanic, 6.8% white, 2.6% African American, and 2.2% Pacific Islander or Asian. The classroom that I'm in is a classroom. It's an American government class for seniors. So I teach American government and economics to 12th grade seniors at Chaffee High School. The classroom environment, in terms of the physical space, is actually I have both sides, or my master teacher has both sides of the classroom facing directly into the center, where myself and my master teacher, Jeff Brown, provide the instruction for the day's lesson. The students, they basically, these are, like I identified before, they're high school seniors. In my first period class, half of them have some type of EL designation. So it's important, basically, especially within that first period class, that I take the extra time to put in the appropriate instructional skills for EL and special needs students that have a really hard time moving through the material and moving through the requirements in American government and economics. So basically the beginning of this, so that's basically the framework of the classroom that I teach in. So here's the Articles of Confederation lesson. How I incorporated this was the first lesson that I taught for this class in an urban setting, and I hadn't really been able to identify, urban, or the fundamentals of urban life to this point. But that is actually a progression that I made throughout the course that I'll identify in the later screencast. So basically incorporating the application of theory into this lesson, which I will go over in just a second, from part 2 of the book. It just basically identifies how I become an urban school teacher. And moving through this, you will see it's basically making connections and using humor with the students, because what I have personally found is that regardless of the geographic location and demographics of the school, when humor is used appropriately, students will learn because they laugh. So here's the Articles of Confederation lesson that I developed. First off, I start off by a review of the Articles of Confederation lesson, PowerPoint presentation for the Articles of Confederation, and a group activity. So here's my objective: that students will understand the primary mechanisms and issues that led to the revision of the Articles of Confederation, and they will identify the positive and negative attributes of the Articles of Confederation. So start off, there's a quick YouTube video that I won't show here that basically introduces the Articles of Confederation to the students. That was basically to address the EL requirements for this class. Here's the beginning of why did the Articles of Confederation fail, and I progressively move through these elements with the students while using references that they're actually familiar with, or concepts that they would be familiar with. Because one problem that I had at the beginning for my 460 and 470 courses was I was talking over the students and not using frame of references that they were particularly familiar with. So when we talk about debt, for example, I was able to use a reference of how you accrue debt. So basically using a local reference point of if you want to buy a house or if you want to start up a local business. That was one of the examples I used so the students would be able to have an urban frame of reference. So basically I just move them through. This is the content material of the PowerPoint instructional, and it discusses the various aspects of the Articles of Confederation and why it was basically dismantled. And then after this, I had them move through an Articles of Confederation worksheet, which basically the students were required to identify one aspect of the Articles of Confederation that they would like to fix, and then they would compare that with the revisions that were conducted by the Founding Fathers. So that was my first field week reflection.